What's going on, everyone? Alliance Work here, and welcome back to another video. In this video, I wanted to discuss the competitive viability for the leaked Mega Evolutions that are coming to Legends EA. So real quick, I want to put a disclaimer out for spoilers. These are the supposed Mega Pokemon that are going to be coming in Legends EA later this year. So if you don't want spoilers, click off the video now. But I just want to go over like the competitive viability and how good each Mega Pokemon will be, because you got to realize, for those who don't know, you can only Mega Evolve one Pokemon per battle, and we have returning Megas as well. So that spot for the Mega Pokemon on your team is going to be very, very competitive because we already have some Goliaths that can Mega Evolve as is, like Charizard Y, Tyranitar, Metagross, Gengar, Alakazam. Like, we have some very hard hitters, but if they if they have potential, I want to also go over that as well. But with that being said, let's hop right into the video. You had your chance to avoid spoilers, but these are all of the Pokemon who are announced as potential Megas. So starting off, we have Clefable. Now, Clefable is an interesting case because a lot of Clefable's competitive viability comes from its abilities Unaware in Magic Guard, and the unpredictability of knowing what Clefable is running ability-wise. And when you Mega Evolve, there's a very high chance Clefable can lose this ability. She might not, but it's definitely a roll, and I feel like that's where a lot of Clefable's viability comes from. Because when it comes to stats, Clefable's not really singing too high of a song. Its ability, typing, and wide move pool is what has really carried Clefable. So with the extra stats, it could help, but I feel like Clefable could very well be one of those Pokemon that may or may not have a Mega Niche. It's really hard to say because, like I said, Clefable's abilities are really, really good. And sometimes Megas can keep their abilities, but more often than not, when a Pokemon Mega evolves, it will lose its ability. It can have typing changes too, but that's all to be announced. Next up, we have Starmie, and Starmie suffers from a very difficult spot with being a viable Mega Pokemon. It could work for rain teams because I don't believe Swampert is going to be present in the games, but aside from that, Starmie in the competitive field has to deal with one of the most vicious psychic Pokemon in the Mega Pokemon category, and that is Alakazam. As Alakazam completely, just utterly washes Starmie in every single aspect of everything, like stats, moves. Pretty much the only thing Starmie has going for it is analytic, and even that's not saying much. So when it comes to competitive, I don't even think Starmie's going to be getting that far. Like I said, I could be wrong, but it's also like hindered by its water typing, as well as water is one of the most populated typings in the game. Now, if I was to give Starmie an ability to make it better, I would definitely want to give Starmie Magic Bounce as its ability. Because if you're running a rain team, you could have Gyarados and Starmie, and people would be like, oh, they're going to Mega their Gyarados. It's obvious. And then you surprise them with a Mega Starmie, and you're bouncing hazards back on them that they're trying to set. But aside from that, I really don't see any way a Mega Starmie truly takes off. And the same can definitely be said about Victory Bell. I love Victory Bell's design. I love him even more in the anime. Victory Bell's always had a soft spot in my heart. But I think in order for Victory Bell to be good, you're going to have to switch out Chlorophyll for Prankster. And now, a lot of Pokemon games past are not above giving a Pokemon new moves, but Prankster Victory Bell would actually give it severe viability because you have Reflect, you have Priority Strength Sap, you have Priority Synthesis if you're even living a hit. And honestly, when it comes to that new move thing I was talking about, give Victory Bell Spore and watch Prankster Mega Victory Bell with Spore just go absolutely crazy. Because aside from that, it's relying on 75% accurate sleep powder. And I mean, who is relying on that for competitive viability? I want to see a Mega Victory Bell pop off. I really do. But unless it gets Prankster and Spore, I don't see any world where Victory Bell can outshine what competition it already has, because Gen 9 power creep has been egregiously bad. And speaking of power creep, we have the one Pokemon who has remained relevant throughout all of power creep, and that is Dragonite. And if Mega Dragonite is a thing, straight to Ubers. Immediately straight to Ubers. Even possibly AG. Mega Dragonite with multi-scale, Dragon Dance, and E-Speed. Because here's the thing, multi-scale guarantees Dragonite's living any hit. So you Dragon Dance, turn 1, you Mega Evolve, and then if Dragonite gets a new ability, like say Dragon's Maul when it Mega Evolves, oh my god, Dragonite's tearing everyone in half. Dragonite's one of those Pokemon you just gotta question, does it really need a Mega? Because Dragonite is doing so well. It has been doing well ever since it got multi-scale. Dragonite has just been on a steady increase. Now, don't get me wrong, I love to see Dragonite pop off, but he's doing so well as is. D-Dance, E-Speed, Mega Dragonite, benefiting from multi-scale and potentially a second ability, Dragonite is going to absolutely destroy every ounce of the game that's left. And that is a clear-cut definition of what power creep is with Mega Dragonite. Now, moving on to the next roster, with all of my heart and soul, I want Meganium to pop off. I really do. Meganium was my first ever level 100. It's going to be my starter in Legend CA. I want Meganium to pop off. Unfortunately, I do not see a world where that happens. I think Mega Meganium is going to be a meme. I hate that I have to say it, but I want it to be good. I want it to be good, but I don't think it is. And I don't think there's any ability you can give it that is going to make it good, even unless, like we said with Victory Bell, you give it Prankster Spore. That's the only way Mega Meganium gets viability, because even its support moves are not even that good. Because remember, you only get one Mega Pokemon, so anything Meganium can do, a Pokemon like Grimmsnarl can do better. So you just don't Mega Evolve Meganium, have like Grimmsnarl do everything else, and save your Mega for like Gengar, Alakazam, or even Chandelure, but more on Chandelure later. And honestly, I feel the same can kind of be said about Feraligatr, because part of me feels like they're going to give Feraligatr a move like Strong Jaw, because Feraligatr's always kind of been symbolic with the teeth. And yes, Feraligatr has Dragon Dance. Extra boost to his stats will be nice, but water is just like such a competitive type because there's so many water types. I mean, I see potential for Feraligatr to pop off competitively on rankings, but you know, ability wise, I think all it needs is sheer force with Dragon Dance, and then you just kind of give it like the coverage moves as needed, like Earthquake and Dragon's Claw. I mean, honestly, if he has Strong Jaw, you're going to give him Ice Fang and any other type of like biting moves that he can get, like Crunch. But those moves aren't even that good anyways. So Honestly, I feel like Mega Feraligatr is not going to pop off as well as we want it to. However, Mega Skarmory? Are you kidding me? Does this bird need any more defense than what it has right now? Like, and even if it gets more special defense, like Skarmory is already a. Skarmory has been a beast since, I believe, Generation 2 or 3. And despite all the years that have passed, Skarmory has still remained relevant. Skarmory has been the premier standard for what a steel type should be, in my opinion. Skarmory has always had that OU niche for being the unbreakable bird, for setting hazards and just not going away. And if Skarmory gets a mega evolution, I can see it being totally viable. I can almost see Skarmory switching out its defensive niches for an almost offensive niche. And I mean, imagine if they give Skarmory stamina instead of weak armor. Like, stamina Skarmory, that would go insane. So Skarmory definitely has a niche. Unlike our next Pokemon, we're going to talk about Froslass, which is the only Gen 4 Pokemon getting a Mega Evolution. Froslass, it's got to compete with Chandelure, and it's got to compete with Gengar. And look at these stats. Again, we'll talk about Chandelure in a bit. There is no world where Froslass, even on an ice team, has Mega Evolution potential. I can't see a world or realm where Froslass pops off. Even if you like give it a, you would have to put like feline prowess in the game and make it like Mega Froslass exclusive, and even then, 160 special attack really isn't that good. And I can almost say the same for Drampa. Though, I mean, Drampa has really respectable special attack, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like Drampa might be able to pop off competitively because, I mean, you switch it in and you get that. Never mind. You definitely would want to stay Berserk, but with Drampa's special attack the way it is, it could basically be like, I want to say a better version. Even that's stretching it. I was going to say a better version of Galarian Moltres, but no, I'm not even going to give that to Drampa. Its typing makes it really rough to use because Dragon is such a power-driven type that it would also be competing with Dragonite for a Mega slot, as well as other potential Dragon Megas. Like, I don't want to say Garchomp because Garchomp's actually a bad Mega. Salamence, for example, Dragonite, you're competing with so many other good dragons. Like, dragons have very competitive type when it comes to looking for a spot. I could be wrong, but I mean, Drampa has respectable special attack. I just feel like if they give it a little more bulk in both defense and special defense, Drampa could potentially pop off. Because we don't really see many dragons that have good bulk and good special attack. And give me 1 second here. Just gonna put this in anything goes real quick, so that way we can actually see what moves Drampa. Yeah, it's still not showing us. Thanks, Showdown. Screw you. Mega Phalanx. Phalanx is an interesting Pokemon because I want to see a pre-evolution of Phalanx where it's just one of the little dudes. That's my fever dream. I want it to be real. Please. Game Freak, if you're watching this, baby Phalanx. Not Mega Phalanx, but in the competitive scene for Phalanx. So we have some crazy power creep already. I'm just going to say it. Give Mega Phalanx simple. Just give him simple, no retreat. Raise all of his stats by 2 and call it a day. That would be absolutely hilarious because I think that is the only way Mega Phalanx pops off is simple, no retreat. Yeah, you would have to give up close combat because of the defense drop, it would be super bad. But I mean, Phalanx has really, really good moves already as is. It's just its stats right now are abysmal compared to some of the other Pokemon. Like, its speed is bad, special defense is horrible. Like, 1 second from Mega Alakazam and you're gone. It got it has decent defense and decent attack, but its HP is abysmal. Like, if they want Mega Phalanx to pop off, they just need to give him a big stat boost, which I would love to see. And maybe give him. I don't even know what kind of type you would give Phalanx, but Mega Phalanx, we'll see what happens. Like, it has the potential to cook, but you have got to give it a good ability to cook with no retreat, its signature move. Because if it can get something like simple, Mega Phalanx pops off. In the next bracket, though, we have Emboar, the final starter that you can choose from. And honestly, I think Emboar they need to give Fluffy to. Because or Fur Coat, whatever it is. Because Fluffy slash Fur Coat, it's basically double defense, which Emboar clearly lacks in, which will give it a big buff. And it's already fire type, so it basically wouldn't even get that fire weakness. It'd basically be like fire neutrality, if anything. And if you look at Emboar's move pool, it has bulk up, drain punch. Like, you could actually cook if Emboar gets Fluffy. Give it drain punch for that fighting stab. Give it flare blitz, and just watch this pig just rip everyone up. Like, that's my prediction for Emboar. Maybe, like, I don't know, like I said, just give him Fluffy and maybe just a little bit more Spadef, and Emboar cooks as a competitive VGC Pokemon. As for Scolipede, I feel has something I'm going to call Gyarados syndrome. So what a Gyarados syndrome is back in Gen 6, Moxie Gyarados would pop off. It would go into the field, it would KO something, get a Moxie boost, then it would Mega Evolve and go from Moxie to Mold Breaker and basically bypass all the sturdies, the levitates, and just tear everything apart. Like, it didn't matter what your ability was because Mold Breaker ignores it. So Scolipede has the ability to cope with the Gyarados syndrome, and I know I can't show it here because it's not letting me, but Scolipede's move pool is actually insane and very wide as well. Like, it gets a lot of great physical moves, but I would say, like, maybe give it, like, go from speed boost to sharpness, and then you could run moves like Mega Horn, um, Mega Horn. I mean, Scolipede stats have always been good. Scolipede has always been a very good bug, and if Scolipede is getting a Mega Evolution, I am actually excited for it. And then we have Excadrill. Excadrill, honestly, I feel he's going to be one of those Pokemon that's really hard to gauge if it's worth Mega Evolving or not, because Excadrill has always played the role of a glass cannon. With its Mold Breaker ability, its crazy high attack stat, and I think it's Sand Rush into Sandstorms, which Excadrill has always been a sand support kind of Pokemon. With and sand speed is almost 170. Actually, I think it goes 188. Yeah, it's over 170 in speed. So Excadrill is basically outspeeding everything that is not Electivire or Regieleki, and he's always been competitively viable. So honestly, I don't know what you could do to make Excadrill better besides maybe giving. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe give him No, that wouldn't work. That'd be stupid if they give a Steelworker. I don't know how you make Excadrill competitively better than he already is, because Excadrill is such a good Pokemon. I mean, you literally have moves like Stab Earthquake, Stab Iron Head, and like you have Sword Stance as well, which Excadrill, again, he's a glass cannon. You really can't set up with him too much because he just dies in one hit. But Excadrill has always just already been competitively viable, and I can't really think of any way to change him to make him better. Electros, bro, this thing already has no weaknesses. Like, what? How? I don't know. Electros is definitely going to be like the premier electric type when you're looking for an electric mega, because Electros, like I said, he's slow as sludge. That's his biggest downfall. He has incredible attack. He has decent bulk with 80s across the board, but his speed is so abysmal. And honestly, I feel like his Mega Evolution is going to just kind of push him beyond that. Maybe give him a nice dark typing as well, but like, this thing has always just been a sleeper good Pokemon, in my opinion. It's just he's slow. And I don't know how you would change his ability to make him better in that term, because his ability is already so good as is. But Electros definitely has potential to cook as a competitive Mega Pokemon, because honestly, there isn't even that many good electric Mega Pokemon as is. I think there's like Mega Ampharos, and I honestly think Ampharos is the only Mega Pokemon I could think of who is coming back, by the way. So, but Scrafty, on the other hand, I feel like Scrafty needs a. So his stats are just kind of like decent as is. Like 150 in both defenses is good, but his speed and middling attack are honestly what holds him back, because there's plenty of good physical attackers in the Mega Department field. Just look at Mega Salamence. If you need a hard hitter, Mega Salamence all the way. But Scrafty, he's just kind of been just kind of, he's there, and I feel like honestly, like some of these Pokemon, I'm trying to think of a way to like make them better, but it's just like, how do you make them better and have it make sense? Because Scrafty's just like one of those tricky Pokemon. Like Shed Skin works because it fits the theme. Moxie and Intimidate fits the theme. Oh, he's got Moxie. So Scrafty could actually potentially be like the Mega Gyarados 2.0 at home. Because earlier I said Gyarados would come in, KO, get the Moxie boost. Even Salamence would do it too. Show up, get the Moxie boost, and then Mega Evolve with that +1, and then it just runs rampant. So Scrafty, basically, I feel it's like budget Mega Gyarados. Now Chandelure, I've been hinting at Chandelure a lot throughout this, because Chandelure has almost got more special attack than Palkia and Dialga. It will probably eclipse that, and this thing will probably rival Mega Gengar. I'm just going to come out and say it. Mega Gengar is fast as sin. Do not get me wrong, but Chandelure is definitely going to be a very competitive Mega Pokemon. I am calling it now. And remember back in Gen 5 when people were terrified because Chandelure got Shadow Tag? Well, what if they brought that to Mega Chandelure? What if they actually made that nightmare a reality and see how the competitive field deals with it? Because Chandelure actually does get some setup moves, if I am correct. I swear Chandelure got Nasty Plot. Thank God it doesn't, right? Okay, so Chandelure doesn't get any setup moves. I am wrong. Besides minimize, really. Okay, well, it has Calm Mind, but Chandelure's biggest downfall is it doesn't have any real good recovery besides rest. But Mega Chandelure is 100% going to be something that's probably going to be up there with Mega Dragonite. And then the starters for Kalos. So I'm just going to lump Chestnut and Delphox together because they're both kind of the same in the aspect of the starters always have the potential to cook. I mean, Mega Venusaur had thick fat. Mega Charizard, X and Y had Tough Claws and Drought. Blastoise had Mega Launcher. I think Chestnut would be the type of Pokemon that would get fluffy. Or Fur Coat, honestly. Yeah, he would be annihilated by a single fire move, but that's honestly the best way I could see to make Chestnut better. Delphox. It's Delphox. I'm sorry, I just can't see. Psychic is such a drivenly, competitively fought for spot. Like, why would you use Delphox over Alakazam? And I'm quite sure even Starmie gets better coverage than Delphox does. So it's a Delphox. At the end of the day, it's a Delphox, you know? I just I would have to truly see what they cook with Delphox to be able to say if it'd be viable or not. Because I mean, it has decent special stats and trash physical and even decent speed. So I mean, it could cook competitively, but I don't know. I don't see a world where Delphox is chosen over Charizard Y. Because if Charizard X is in the game, which has been confirmed, Charizard Y is also in the game. Greninja, and this is where I'm going to break your guys' heart. I'm calling it right now. It's literally just going to be Ash Greninja. That's its Mega form. I'm calling it now. And Greninja has, at least for its Ash Greninja form, has always had competitive viability. I don't see that changing. I truly see this being the opportunity that you can have Battle Bond Shiny Ash Greninja. Pyroar is interesting though, because it has two different forms. So how do you incorporate that with a Mega Evolution and make it work? Again, it has the Moxie ability, but with that miserable attack stat, you're not using it physically. Even specially, Pyroar could cook. I'd say like give him Intimidate and maybe drop its normal typing for something else so that it doesn't die to any fighting move under the sun because that defense stat is also sad. Like, Pyroar has always looked good, but it's never been good. And that is its biggest downfall. And Malamar has a very interesting niche with its ability Contrary. Contrary being one of the absolute best moves in Pokemon history because of how it works with stat lowering and stat raising. So I feel like Malamar with a Mega Evolution, you could definitely get something going with it, but I really don't know. You have to give its moveset some love. Otherwise, I don't know how you really work with it. Like, it needs more to work with Contrary. Like, maybe drop its darker second type and give it water type because water is a really good defensive typing, so it can use that close combat a little bit more. But Malamar, it suffers from having all these awkward tools with no good way of using them. Like Contrary Trailblaze, ew. Contrary, where was it? Like Calm Mind with Contrary, why are you using that? Horrible. Absolutely horrible. Malamar, it really just needs like a move overhaul because its moves just kind of suck. I mean, you even give it Nasty Plot. Why? Why? And then Barbarical, honestly, Rock Water is a horrible typing, point blank. Like, you have so many weaknesses that I feel like maybe giving it Sap Sipper would help get rid of that quad weakness it has. And then stat wise, its stats are pretty much right where it needs to be. So Barbarical could 100% cook into competitive field with a Mega Evolution. But again, you're using Rock type, which is one of the worst types in the game, along with Water type, which there's like 150 other Water types you could be using instead of Barbarical. Like Greninja, for example. Why Mega Barbarical when you can Mega Greninja, who is better in almost every aspect? And then wrapping this list up, we have Dragalge, which I am a Dragalge supporter through and through. But in the competitive aspect, why would you make a Dragalge when Dragonite is literally right there? You know? I said it once, I say it again. Mega Dragonite, why why would they let this be a thing? It is terrifying. Hawlucha, I feel, will 100% cook. For some reason, part of me feels like this bird's getting huge power for some reason. Because Hawlucha's always been like luchador flexing and everything. So imagine Hawlucha gets like huge power and it just like absolutely just pops off. Because if you think about it, we really don't have many Pokemon with huge power. We have Medicham and Azumarill, and that's literally it. And I don't know. As for Zygarde, with it being Legend ZA and Zygarde kind of being like the unspoken poster child, Zygarde's getting the Mega Rayquaza treatment. Whatever Zygarde gets, it's going to be broken, it's going to be disgusting, and it's going to send it absolutely off the scales. And wrapping this video up, we have the Eternal Floette form. Now, we know absolutely nothing about Eternal Floette aside that it has incredible bulk, and special attack. So if this thing gets a Mega Evolution, it's 100% going to pop off. And remember, sometimes big things come in small packages. Just remember Kartana. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap this video up. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to subscribe and let me know down below what Mega are you excited to see. And I will see you guys in the next video.